Hello, my name is Neil Ticktin. I'm the editor-in-chief and publisher of MacTech Magazine. We're here this week with the unofficial Apple weblog and MacTech. We're together interviewing developers at WWDC to find out what the reaction is to the event and how it applies to them and what they have coming down the pipe. With us now is Chris McSorley from WebIS. Chris, thanks for joining us here and coming and talking to us. Why don't we start with, give us a little bit of an idea of what you guys do, what you do with WebIS, and just a little bit of background.
Yeah. So I'm mostly personally focused on iOS development, both for iPad and iPhone. Mm-hmm. And we focus as a company on mobile software today.
Right.
And so we provide one of our flagship products is Pocket Informant, which is a personal information manager. It lets you coordinate all of your calendar events and tasks together under one roof. So you're not kind of juggling apps to get everything done. We're also adding in notes and contacts and a bunch of other fun stuff that you kind of have to manage on a daily basis.
Right.
So that's kind of the focus of where we are right now.
Great. So we saw a set of announcements on there, including one that some people might think is not so good for you guys in there. But I'm not sure that that's really the case. I mean, what did you think about the announcements in the broad spectrum for the users first, and then specifically how it applies to WebIS?
So for users, it's great. I mean, Apple's doing a lot of really cool stuff. With iCloud, finally being able to, there's a lot of things I've been waiting for personally as a user. Being able to do Wi-Fi sync to your desktop and being able to get your app data, especially pages, numbers, that kind of thing. Get your app data back and forth between your computer and your mobile devices without having to juggle everything.
Yeah, so that's really going to be a great thing for you guys through iCloud to be able to synchronize between multiple devices. Wow.
It's interesting because it's a new opportunity and a challenge. So, on the opportunity side, there's finally a great kind of Apple-supported way to synchronize data back and forth. It doesn't really help us, of course, since we are a multi-platform company, getting our data to, say, an Android device or something else. And there's still some kind of interesting questions we have on how we would work with, say, our calendar data interacting with, of course, Apple's using CalDAV for that. So being able to integrate nicely with that, but then all of the extra data that we have that the built-in calendar and the built-in new reminders app doesn't have, how we can use iCloud to move that data back and forth and make it all seamless. So some of that remains to be seen. I think there's some interesting possibilities there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just nice to have the transport mechanism there, and a lot of the, oops, the connection died halfway through the synchronization. How do we deal with that kind of problem?
And being able to offload that to Apple
let them deal with it
is actually really nice.
Then it's their fault. No. So there was of course one announcement. There was a little bit of an elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. So Apple of course goes ahead and they do this announcement, and this commonly happens with any Apple keynote or any Apple announcement. Some of those of us in the media for a lot of years, we kind of go to a keynote and go, okay, so which developers are going to be put out of business today? Now, in this case here, they were talking about reminders and the idea of having reminders more directly integrated into the OS at that level. What do you guys think about that? What are you seeing in that? Because that's obviously a piece of what you're doing.
It's a piece of what we're doing, and frankly, we're not too worried about it. If you kind of look at the landscape today, there's a ton of task management apps available for iPhone. If you just go search for task or to do, you'll see a bunch. One of the things that makes us stand out that we think is a big value is the fact that we're integrating it with your calendar data, with now your notes and your contacts, and we're putting it all together. We're giving a lot more depth than some of the simple to-do options that you have, like an iCal, which is basically a title and a due date. So it's nice to see that Apple's actually getting some of the basic support there in the iPhone, but at the same time we think that we bring a lot of value to that whole space, so we're not too worried.
Yeah, I mean, to me, from my perspective, in looking at a company like yours, I look at it as they're validating the need for reminders to be done. They're validating the need that this is something that everybody should be doing. And as soon as people kind of get hooked on that idea of, ooh, I can have this, and it's going to sync between these devices, and I can actually remember to do these things in a different way. Oh wait, I really want to be able to do whatever that is and whatever feature it is that's there. And that's where opportunity comes in for guys like you, companies like yours, to go ahead and fill in those holes and really do a much better job of having that full-featured situation. So hopefully what we'll see here is that yes, initially you'll see possibly some erosion of people as they kind of grab onto it. You're not going to lose your existing base because they'd never downgrade themselves to that,
sure,
right?
no, not at all.
But in the meantime, it'll bring new people to the concept of what that type of electronic reminders would do for them, and especially synced across the cloud and all these different types of things.
Right,
Really
and that's one thing that
opportunity.
actually that Apple did give us, at least from what I see so far, is we also now have a way through CalDev to support to-dos
Right.
On iCal, right? If
About time. It's like-
right, so and presumably we're going to be able to talk to that and
Right.
be able to synchronize our data with iCal if users want to do that.
Right.
I think there's definitely, we've heard feedback that people want that, and there up until now really hasn't been a good way to do
No,
that.
not at all. People are figuring out every which way to work around that situation, and there's
Yeah.
been some pretty creative solutions.
There are some really creative solutions.
yeah.
And it was interesting to see Apple did actually take it one step further. They implemented an idea that we had about a year ago, which we were really excited for, which was the whole location-based alarm idea.
Right.
Which we've been using that for the last year or so, and it's an awesome feature
Right.
to be driving down the road, get within a mile of
Gotta
Home
get my
Depot.
milk.
Oh hey,
Yeah, Home Depot,
I need
exactly.
to get in and get some air
Yeah,
filters.
yeah.
So it's been great.
Yeah.
So that one was we saw that and we were like, okay.
Yeah. But it's one of the good eye candy things.
Yeah.
So you got to go with it. So. Is there anything else you want to tell us about?
No, we're currently hard at work at version 2, and I know there's been some anticipation for that, and it's coming along nicely. We did make one of the decisions, which has been taking a while, to move to core data as part of this upgrade. And given how long it's taken, we've been kind of second guessing that. But actually, this keynote was full confirmation that was the right thing to do.
Right decision, yeah.
Because
It may have taken you a while to get there, but
Yeah.
in the long run, you're going to be a hell of a lot
Absolutely.
happier about it.
Because now we get a lot of this stuff for free. So this iCloud, being able to talk to that, we absolutely couldn't have done that before. So we're really excited for where we are.
Great.
Always are at the edge of your seat a little bit when there's a keynote and
Yeah.
wondering what's going to happen with that. But we overall are really excited about what was announced today, and we think it's going to be really great for us and for everybody using various iOS devices.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Thanks for joining us, taking the
Thanks a lot.
time to be with us.
Appreciate it.
My name is Neil Ticktin. I'm the editor-in-chief and publisher of MacTech Magazine, and we are here this week with TUAW interviewing developers at WWDC in San Francisco 2011 to see what the reaction is to the event and where they're going with their products and their ideas. Thanks for watching.